Before also, I felt that I have enough power.
Dmitry Bivol has issued a stark warning to Artur Beterbiev ahead of their highly anticipated rematch and declared that he has the power to knock out Beterbiev. Furthermore, Bivol talked about the confirmation of the rematch, and he was surprised to see it get confirmed so quickly. Dmitry commented that they were having talks about the rematch after their first encounter, so this was destined to happen sooner or later.
I was ready to this date because on the next day after fight we were talking about this date, and now I know exactly, and I'm happy.
Later on, Bivol shared that he had sufficient time for his preparation for the fight, and the talks were made fairly quickly with Turkish Alal Sheikh right after his first encounter with Artur.
No, because on the next day after the fight we agreed by words, with Turkish Alal Sheikh, and it's equal. We have time for this fight.
Moreover, there had been rumors surrounding Dmitry Bivol that people were doubting his power to defeat Beterbiev by knockout. Bivol, on the other hand, shunned all of these rumors and said that he is focused on his training and not worried about what other people are thinking.
I'm completely okay because I'm trying to not hear what people are saying. I'm trying to pay attention for what I feel after the fight, what I need to do, and that's it.
On the other hand, Artur Beterbiev couldn't knock out Dmitry Bivol in their first encounter, so fans were wondering if he would go for the knockout this time. Artur remained humble and stated that he isn't trying to knock out the other person and he has no desire to finish the fight early, but it depends on the situation that arises on fight night.
Нет ли необходимости, острой необходимости в этот раз постараться завершить досрочно?
Если бы вы были боксером, я думаю, вы так бы не спрашивали так вопрос, потому что я не знаю, может быть, кто-то делает, может заканчивать бои досрочно, если он хочет, или там, я знаю, там, это же не от одного желания зависит, там много чего должно сыграть вместе, чтобы все получилось.
Former boxer Roy Jones Jr. was the last light heavyweight champion, and even he couldn't hold back his supportive comments for Artur Beterbiev. Roy said that he would definitely add Artur's power to his own skill set if he was back in his prime. Jones shared that Artur's power is incredible and he has a cool and composed expression which never changes, and that is a good thing.
Mainly just his power. His power along with his aggression and with his subtle face. He never changes his expression, which is a beautiful thing.
Roy Jones recently had the opportunity to spend some time with Artur, so he gave him some real advice to defeat Dmitry Bivol.
No question, Artur did it, because Artur was still You understand me? Bivol, when he can box and move around, then you shouldn't be boxing. That's who Bivol is. That's not who Artur is. Artur can box, he showed us that now. But if Artur can box, then let's obviously Artur set up the knockout shot. Or set up the boom boom. Real, so we see some real Artur. When we see that, we have it now.
Artur Beterbiev says he expects his rematch with Dmitry Bivol to be a very different fight when they meet in a rematch on February 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. While Bivol says he should move more in the rematch than he did in the first fight, Beterbiev seems to be going in the other direction, hinting toward being more aggressive early on. Artur gave away many of the early rounds by not attacking Bivol. He reacted to Bivol's comments of the rematch being different from their first encounter, but Artur stated, "I think he's right. We already know how each of us fights, we've seen each other. I think of course it'll be a different fight, some things can be corrected and improved." Well, his Bivol punches are those of a boxer. Moreover, Dmitry Bivol shared that he needs to work on a few things in the rematch. He commented that there are always things that can be improved after each fight.
What are your feelings on the fight?
I feel like after every fight where I didn't make a good job, because after each fight you have some mistakes, you have some things which you need to work on, and I see these things and I just need to work on it.
A lot of people had been waiting for the rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev, and now it's finally here with a stacked undercard.
So many good fights on that card, man. It's unbelievable. Many people, as I said, are calling this the best fight card ever. And certainly from what I'm seeing, I wouldn't really disagree. What fight do you find the most attractive? Obviously, the obvious choice would be to say the Beterbiev Bivol, because that was a fantastic fight the first time, and I'm expecting no less this time. That's going to be a great fight. But there are some really intriguing and well-matched fights on the undercard. I mean, I call it an undercard, but really, there's nothing undercard about it. Me personally, aside from the Beterbiev Bivol fight, I'm particularly looking forward to Dubois Parker, because I want to see if Dubois can maintain his form. He's on a run of 3 straight fights after the 3 straight wins after the loss to Usyk, when a lot of people wrote him off and said that was pretty much it. And he's bounced back and he's done really well. And as I said, following the defeat of Anthony Joshua, he looks so impressive.
Previously, there was uncertainty surrounding a rematch since Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn confirmed that it will go ahead, driven by interest from Saudi Arabia. Eddie Hearn gave his comments on the rematch. His Excellency has told us that the rematch is on, so we will wait for the final confirmation of that. Additionally, Dmitry Bivol shared that he didn't feel nice when he got the unanimous decision loss, but he showed maturity and accepted it as a part of life. Bivol revealed that the faster a person accepts reality, the better they will recover.
Of course, it's not nice feelings, yeah, when you didn't win fight, but sometimes bad things are happen for us. It's not about what happened. It's about more how we are reacting on it, how we're accepting it. And as faster we accept some things, as better we will recover.
Boxing analyst Gareth A. Davies reflected on the previous encounter and saw Beterbiev bully around Dmitry Bivol in the later parts of the fight. Davies commented, "I had Beterbiev winning the second half of the fight, apart from the 9th round. Bivol won probably the first 4, but the 4th round was a bit of a toss-up. I had Beterbiev commanding the other rounds." In another interview, Roy Jones mentioned that Beterbiev was renowned for his extraordinary knockout power before the first fight and remained unbeaten in the ring until Bivol came along. Roy noted that Artur has slowed down because Bivol is one of the first few people who was not satisfied with the results from the previous fight. Roy said that no one won the fight, and he daringly called for another rematch between the two boxers.
What up? Being that I was the last unified undisputed champion, probably about 25 to 40 years ago, I don't know how long it was. Last night we had a very fantastic fight. A fight that I thought could have gone either way, but you know, what happens, happens. However it goes, nobody won nor lost the fight by 4 points. So that's ridiculous, which is why I say we need an immediate rematch.
Artur Beterbiev's sparring partner Callum Simpson gave his honest thoughts on the first fight and said that Beterbiev put pressure on Bivol and he couldn't do anything about it. But it wasn't enough for a knockout.
The fight went how I thought it would. Well, it's in terms of styles, but I thought Beterbiev would have put more pressure on and than he did. I felt like he wasn't. He didn't put. He put the pressure on the way through, but I thought he would catch you with more shots and step it up. I think they didn't change the tempo that much. He had the same tempo all the way through, but I thought he would step on the gas a few more times. They did end up stopping him, but. Yeah, it didn't, did it?
Eddie Hearn shared that he has witnessed one of the best fights in many years, and he respects Artur Beterbiev and his team. But Artur only went the distance because of Bivol's skills as a boxer.
We saw a guy that had never gone the distance before, the biggest monster in the sport, and we saw one of the purest boxers, one of the most skillful fighters I've ever seen. And I don't want to disrespect Artur Beterbiev and his team because they're just incredible fighters.
Eddie Hearn was all in for the idea of a rematch since he believed the decision was highly controversial. Hearn shared there has to be a rematch because Artur Beterbiev, there is always going to be the controversy of that fight, and he is a true champion. What other fight is there for Artur Beterbiev? The whole world wants to see that again. Sam Jones commented that Turkish Alal Sheikh would definitely want the rematch once again since Bivol and Beterbiev gave an incredible performance in their first bout.
The 116-112 card was strange, in my opinion, for Beterbiev. But like, if you've got Beterbiev winning by a round or two, it is what it is. It's what you like. I know it's the old saying of what you like in boxing, but it really is the case. I mean, I'm sure Turki Al Sheikh will run that fight back due to just simply the quality of the fight.
Furthermore, Turkish Alal Sheikh commented on the first encounter and praised both fighters by saying, "Both fighters are like my brothers, but I think Bivol won 2 rounds more. I don't know why the result is like this, but in my opinion, I will focus and I will try to do the rematch. They deserve it. They deserve it. If they accept, we will do it moreover." Dmitry Bivol wasn't satisfied with his loss, so he added new and intense training sessions for his rematch with Artur. Furthermore, Roy Jones believes that Beterbiev could have gone for the knockout in the first fight, but he didn't take his chances. Jones gave Artur some special advice, saying that Beterbiev should stay ahead of Bivol at all times, attack often, and secure a decisive KO victory to solidify his name as the light heavyweight was the one who impressed him the most in the first fight, and that the champion showed an ability to adapt that Bivol didn't. Jones shared the deciding factor in the fight and said, "What's going to be most important is what did one learn about the other?" Artur Beterbiev already seemed like he knew Dmitry Bivol, but Bivol didn't bring anything to the table outside of the early rounds of the fight. He had a great plan, but let Artur come back and dominate. Roy Jones has been very verbal ever since the Bivol vs. Beterbiev rematch got announced, but just before their first encounter, Jones had something very different to say. Roy claimed that Bivol would win the fight because he has never been down and he has a superior ring IQ. It seems Roy has completely switched sides after the fight and now expects Beterbiev to win.
No. Not 50-50. One, Beterbiev is 38 years old. Beterbiev has been down.
Yes, yeah.
Bivol never been down. Bivol been in there with who at the time was pound the best, which was Canelo Alvarez. Made him look like nothing. So I'm not saying it's 50-50. Beterbiev got everything to show me to bring it back up to 50-50. Right now, Bivol has the advantage 60-40. Now,
furthermore, Dmitry Bivol gave a brutal warning to Artur Beterbiev by saying that he has enough power to knock out Artur, and he had that before as well. Bivol, however, also explained that this is boxing and sometimes the unexpected can happen and the result changes drastically.
Before also I felt that I have enough power, of course, because it's a boxing, you know. Sometimes we have one saying, you know, even the stick once a year could shoot, you know.
Yeah, they should.
Professional boxer David Benavidez has been eyeing a fight with Artur Beterbiev, which was his main reason for moving up in weight class. Benavidez shared his bold comments to end all talks about who won in the previous Beterbiev versus Bivol fight. David said, "To be honest with you, I think when it comes down to boxing, I think Dmitry Bivol won that fight when it comes to damage, but Beterbiev was probably landing the harder blows. But you know what? I feel like Bivol did enough to win the fight." You know what I mean? If it's the same exact fight, I see Bivol winning, but unless they rob him again, there's really nothing you could do. Roy Jones offered his candid views on the rematch, stating that both fighters would be seeking a knockout. He suggested that for Beterbiev to secure victory, he should aim for a KO, and similarly, Bivol should not hold back his power if he wants to win. However, Callum Simpson gave his prediction for the rematch and said that the fight will be somewhat similar, but Artur Beterbiev would be more aggressive this time around. He said that it would be a late stoppage, but Artur would definitely stop Dmitry this time.
I think what I've just said, I think the fight will go similar to how it went, but I'm hoping from round 7-8, Beterbiev will put his foot on the gas and get the late stoppage.
Adil Olau shared that he has been excited for the road season fight card for a long time, and now it has been official. Adil commented that it may be one of the best fight cards in the history of the sport.
I'm excited, honestly. I've been jumping around like a little kid.
Why?
Why? Because this fight card got announced, and I know you guys like your boxing, but this is by far the greatest fight card I've ever seen in my life.
Former boxer and Hall of Famer Carl Froch is excited for the upcoming rematch and shared his opinion on the fight. Carl commented that he had Bivol winning in the first encounter, but ever since he watched the fight again, he has shifted towards Beterbiev.
And also an International Boxing Hall of Famer. I once rendered somebody unconscious in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium as well. It was over a decade ago. I don't talk about it much, but just in case you didn't know, so I'd remind you. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino, and today I'll be talking about a pretty fucking insane fight card that's happening in Saudi Arabia.
Legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas stated his comments for the previous fight and said that he understood why the fight could have gone either way, but revealed that he had Beterbiev winning by 1 round. Atlas commented, "Close fight, a lot of close rounds. I can see why people are conflicted. You know what? I'm not going to judge anyone. I judge the fight, but I'm not going to judge anyone because I get it, subjective in certain ways. There's 2 ways to look at it. 2 fighters, close fight. A lot of close rounds." Additionally, Carl Froch commented on the rematch, stating that Bivol should put in more effort, particularly in the latter. Froch mentioned that Artur pushed himself to the limit and went the distance for the first time, which may have influenced the judge's decision in the first fight.
For the rematch, so I can't wait for the rematch. I just think I think Bivol maybe needs to look a bit more interested if that's fair towards the end of the fight. Maybe around 10, 11 and 12, I think he needs to get more shots off because he finished slow. Beterbiev put it on him a little bit more. It looked like he wanted to be in there a bit more. It looked like he was trying to win and trying to get that victory.
Gareth A. Davies believes that Bivol will undoubtedly put in greater effort this time, despite Artur and Dmitry not being widely recognized. Davies thinks this fight will generate significant revenue. He mentioned that the bout is likely to be more intense in both the early and later rounds, potentially leading to a different outcome.
The worst one, almost, is Beterbiev and Bivol, and yet it's what every dyed-in-the-wool boxing purist wants to see again, and we're going to get another extremely close fight. I think Bivol will be slightly more active. I know I've jumped into the analysis. It's going to be slightly more active at the early and late parts of rounds, and I think he's going to pip it this time. Even though Roy Jones Jr. is telling Artur Beterbiev on his tour of the UK at the moment, you've got to go in there and smash him this time. I do. I think this is arguably the greatest.
The winner of the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol may have just found their next opponent. The victor in their fight could be set for another huge showdown after the WBC has confirmed that the David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight on February 1st will now be a final eliminator to determine the next WBC mandatory. From Ivy Crown to the last crescendo, in just 4 months, the boxing world is witnessing a dramatic evolution. On October 12th, Artur Beterbiev secured the light heavyweight undisputed title in a tightly contested bout against Dmitry Bivol. Despite being the slight favorite, Bivol fell short, losing by a majority decision. Now, the stage is set for an electrifying rematch in Riyadh. The rematch between undisputed light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol is set for February in Riyadh, and it will headline one of the best pure boxing cards in history. Adil Alao praised both Beterbiev and Bivol and said that they deserve to be on the main event card. Unlike Daniel Dubois, he shared that Dubois has definitely risen since his fight with Anthony Joshua, but he knows that Bivol and Artur are the best in the game. All the belts will be on the line as Artur prepares for his rematch with Bivol.
Talking to the best light heavyweights of all time, the first fight was so good. It's all the belts, every single belt in the division. I mean, Dubois' rise in the last year has been great. And look, he'll be a good co-main event, but I think even he knows the two best in the world have to go first. I mean, Beterbiev is pound for pound number 4 or 5, Bivol number 6.
Moreover, Artur Beterbiev shared one of his most thrilling experiences fighting in his teens outside his professional boxing. He commented that it was a long time ago, so he doesn't remember all the details, but he won the fight.
When is the first time you had a fight?
First time?
The first time you ever had a fight. Not professional, not amateur, the first time you ever had a fight.
Assalamu alaikum. It's long time ago, you know, more than 30 years to go.
Tell us.
I don't remember.
Did you win?
Yes, win.
In addition, Beterbiev shared that he never even celebrated the victory over Bivol with his trainer, but plans on having a party soon.
Look into the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes, yeah, like Muslim people is role model is Muhammad. So, but because I'm sportsman and I'm boxer, you know, I forget something. You know, boxers, you know, boxers, why drive fast?
Yeah.
You don't know?
But do you think Bivol can undo Beterbiev's victory in the rematch? Who do you expect to win by knockout? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below and subscribe for more content like this.